Good morning. This is Amy Engelmark of Amy Engelmark Coaching. I'm a professional life coach and certified stress management consultant. If you are a high achiever, if you're a high-end entrepreneur, maybe you're a business leader or community leader, and you want to find out how to make time for your health again. How do you get your health back when you're super busy? Well, you're in the right place. If you want to find out how to create more time for yourself so you can have time flexibility and spend more time with your family having fun, playing, getting out in the woods, getting out on more dates, you're in the right place. If you are a CEO or you're someone who is super successful in your business or work life and you want to be able to manage your time effectively so that you don't have so much stress, anxiety, or worry, you are in the right place. These webinars cover so much incredible, I'm going to say juicy topics because I like the word juicy, and it's true. The topics are very, very helpful. They're proven to work in my life and in my clients' lives. If you're joining me live today, welcome. I invite you to put your name and where you're from in the chat room there so that we can get going and I know who I'm talking to today. And I invite you as well, if you have questions while I'm training, to put them in that chat room. So let me know who you are, where you're joining us from, and what kind of questions you have for me. This webinar series is morphing into the Healthy, Wealthy Leader webinar series. It used to be called Breakthrough to Your Fun, Fabulous Life. So I know all of you want to lead a fabulous life where you have more time for fun, but I also know that you desire health and you desire wealth. So all of this balance, right? Colleen and Kelly from Parksville. Hi, ladies! Awesome! Which one of you is living in Parksville? That's fabulous to have you on the call live. Woohoo! So that's why it's called the Healthy, Wealthy Leader webinar series. Hi, Colleen. Hi, ladies. Amy from Courtney, you made it on this week, Amy. Awesome. Awesome time management with you and your kids and your business. Good for you. Wonderful to have you all on live. If you're just joining us, put your name and where you're from in the chat room. Today, we're going to cover 3 keys to handle unreasonable people or difficult people that are a real challenge for you. So how can you do that? We're going to talk about the keys that you need to implement in your personal life, in your heart, in your mind, so that you can have more productive relationships and communication with these people, whether it's at work or whether it's in your personal life or with a distant relative, whatever. A little bit about myself before I get going. I'm going to share with you my story and share with you a few slides, and then I'll get into the training portion. I don't seek out difficult people to associate with, but you know, we all run into them and sometimes we're faced with them, and I think that it's good for our character because we learn how to deal with difficult situations and challenges, and then we get to experience what it feels like to be victorious, to overcome, and to come out the other end feeling like you've used self-control and you're happy with the end result, right? What can I tell you about my life? I've really learned as I've dealt with difficult family members or people in business who really rubbed me the wrong way, that the way that I respond when I'm in those challenging situations is what it's all about. Because usually people are not responding to me or acting in that challenging way just to get my goat or to upset me and get a rise out of me. It's because of something that's happening in their life. So when I've gone through those challenging relationships and I've had to deal with those people, those kinds of people, I'm really thankful, even though there's so much tension and anxiety that can come up in the moment. What I've found is the lessons that I've learned in those times, through those experiences, have really equipped me with the skills and the techniques to be able to manage unreasonable and difficult people much better now. And I can feel calm now, and I have much more self-control and less. I'm not so reactive in the moment, saying or doing things that I would regret in the future. So that's where we want to be. That's what I'm going to show you how to do today, so that you can be a master of your emotions and your mind, and you can have more productive and healthy relationships even when you are around and you're faced by challenging people. I see that more of you have joined live. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the live webinar training. Please put where you're from and what your name is in the chat box. Whenever you have a question about anything that I'm talking about today, post it there and I'll make sure that I answer it, okay? I'm just gonna take a sip of water and then I'll start sharing my screen with you. So, here we go. Like I said, this webinar series used to be called the Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life webinar. It's now called, I'm morphing it, and it's changed to be named the Healthy, Wealthy Leader webinar series. Same focus, same content. It's meant to help you create more time for yourself and learn to decrease your stress while you're improving your life. You're going to find out everything on these webinars to do with creating time freedom for yourself, improving your productivity at work and at home, making sure you are experiencing excellent health, learning strategies to really increase your success without burning out, how to make yourself a priority even when you're really busy, and what you need to master so that you're always feeling energized and focused. That sums up these webinars. This is me visiting Amy, who is on with us live today. Some of Amy's group of women and that she manages and oversees. And I also work with many other groups in person. I've been speaking for realtors groups. I've spoken for many other groups, lots last spring, lots this fall already, and just love the live interaction as well as these online webinars. Stick around to the end because I'm going to give those of you who are on live an opportunity to win a book that I will send to you in the mail, and it'll end up at your doorstep. If you can answer a question first and correctly, then you're going to get the goodie. For those of you who are watching the replay, I'm going to post the link at the end to my first 2 chapters of my ebook. It's called From Burnt Out to Bliss, and it's a 21-day plan for more freedom, free time, health, and wealth. Here's my promise for you guys today. Even if you're busy, even if you're juggling a lot between family, work, your personal dreams, we're going to have a lot of fun, and I'm going to show you how you can create beautiful, satisfying life balance in all areas of your life. So how do you do that minus getting stressed out? I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a really fun and light way, because I'm sure that none of you needs more stress or pressure that comes with that stress, right? So let's have some fun. This is me in front of my house. A little bit more about me. I told you about my upcoming book. It's not quite published yet. I train, I speak, I coach in groups over the phone, and as well as private coaching calls with clients who are CEOs, they're high-end entrepreneurs, they're business owners and decision makers who want to decrease their stress, have more fun, and have more free time. I host workshops, and I personally use the systems and steps in my own life that I'm sharing with you in these webinars. So here's me training in person. When I had long hair, and then after when I cut my hair, I'm growing it out again, but I'm really loving all the stages. Here's me in nature. Absolutely love being out in creation. More outside pictures with me and my boys. That was last year, I think. I'll get a current one up there for you guys. This is Simon on the left and Gavin on the right. Simon's turning 9 in a couple weeks, and Gavin's 11. There's Gavin and I again, outside during a hike. And my family here all together. There's my husband, Beach. We spend a lot of time on the West Coast. And having time with my family is just like gold for me. Why would I have a family unless I wanted to hang out with them, goof off, get exercise, and be active, and really connect and be the role model that I want to be for them, right? So that's why time freedom, one of the reasons time freedom is so important to me. I'm going to share a quick testimonial, and then I'll hop into the training. This was from a family doctor that I coached, and she came to me and she was feeling quite low and dark mentally. And she was stuck in quite a negative mental rut. It was starting to affect her family life and her marriage, and she was feeling like her confidence was really taking a nosedive. She wasn't making any time for her health. She was not eating well and honoring her body. So she was stuck in these ruts, these patterns. And then what I showed her really helped her make a big switch. I showed her some systems that I show other clients that have helped them get really great results as well. And it helped her stop feeling so stressed. It helped her manage her time much more effectively. And she started making time for her health every single day. She started eating better. Her energy started increasing. She was more gentle emotionally on herself. Her expectations were more realistic. And her marriage really improved because of how she started taking care of herself. So that's what starts happening when you prioritize yourself. Let me stop the screen share with you, and I'm going to hop into the live training now. 3 keys for you to handle unreasonable and difficult people. What do you find is most challenging when you're faced with an unreasonable person? Maybe they're never on time, or they've got an anger problem, or maybe they're not living a life of integrity, so they're not doing what they say they're going to do. What do you find most frustrating, or maybe you're experiencing a challenging situation? You're experiencing a challenge with an unreasonable person right now. Do you find, let me know in the chat room here, is it what's the biggest challenge for you? Communicating, using your self-control, making everything a big deal instead of picking your battles? So let me know, what do you find is most challenging when you're dealing with somebody who seems unreasonable or is really pressing your buttons, and it's hard to be around, whether it's at work or in your personal life? This is a private, confident space. I'm obviously not going to share any of your details, and this is a space for you where you can get my feedback and support. And I want to know, I'm going to focus the most of my energy on the feedback that you guys give me today. So in the chat bar to the right, let me know what's most challenging. Is it communicating with this type of person? Like, how do you communicate so that it doesn't negatively impact or make the relationship worse? How is it self-control when you're dealing with somebody like that and not just being a reactive person? Is it your perspective and how you feel emotionally when you're dealing with a challenging person? Let me know in the chat room what you find most challenging about dealing with an unreasonable person. Where is your biggest challenge in this area? Let me know. I'm going to wait for your feedback. Amy, Colleen, Kelly, anybody have anything that they wanted to share in particular that is most challenging for you when you're trying to handle somebody who's unreasonable? Let me know. Maybe you're thinking. Colleen, self-control to disengage in a discussion with husband. Okay. Yep, self-control is this beautiful muscle, and often we don't exercise it very much, right? When you do, and it's nice and toned, then you can rely on it. Yeah, and you want to, Colleen says as well, you want to not get triggered. Okay, that's key. Know what triggers you, right? And usually you're triggered by something you're assuming, and it's a perspective, but not always. Anybody else have any feedback there? What's most challenging for you? Get out your pen and paper, because now it is the training portion of the webinar, and I'm going to give you those 3 keys I promised you. I think I actually have, I have 3 keys plus a little bonus at the end. So get out your pen and paper and get ready to take some notes. This is going to be really helpful in your relationships at work and in person. And I hope it empowers you and fills you with wisdom and tools to apply directly to your situation. If you have any questions, let me know. Amy says that the most challenging thing for her is making sure that her ability to empathize so you don't take on too much personally. Great, I'm going to cover that today as well. So Colleen, we're going to cover self-control. Amy, we're going to cover learning how to care for other people without taking on too much or maybe taking things personally. Thanks for your feedback. Let's hop in. The number 1 key you want to use to be able to almost like add oil. It's like your key is covered with oil today. I'm going to give you this slippery key so that when you're accessing a relationship that's challenging, it adds smoothness and ease and the ability to be calm when you're dealing with a challenging person. Colleen, another piece of self-control for me is not having to discuss it with others before dealing with the person. Yes, the power of your mouth is very big. And exercising self-control over your words is such a good goal to aim for, and it's totally achievable. You've probably just been in the habit of not using self-control in that way, so developing that habit is going to serve you time and time again. So number 1 key is to keep your cool and maintain self-control. So when you're triggered, that's what I want you to do. It will serve you so well. Decide that you are someone who is able to keep your control and maintain cool. Maintain your cool. If you don't believe that you are somebody who has self-control, then you will act in ways that are reactive. You first need to change your view of yourself to believe that you are someone new before you will start acting in new ways. This is crucial. So what would you need to believe about yourself? I know for a long time, I didn't believe I was an organized person. That did not serve me. Now I believe I am quite an organized person, and I'm always growing. So what could you believe about yourself? Here are some suggestions. I'm going to type them in here. I always use ample self-control no matter how I'm feeling or who I'm with. What could you believe about yourself? What would you need to believe about yourself in order to use more self-control and maintain your cool and actually feel okay even when you're triggered? No one else can control me. I have control over my emotions and actions. I'm the one responsible responsible for my actions. So you can believe anything about yourself, and the power in that is magnificent and huge. I highly recommend that you practice this self-control muscle and you look at what you would need to believe about yourself in order to feel self-confident. Because when you do, you're going to have better judgment in the situation. You're going to avoid escalating the conversation or experience in the moment. And that's crucial. You don't want to go from bad to worse really quickly, right? That's not our goal today. Our goal is to go from uncomfortable or really bad to not so bad or manageable. I can manage this. So that's one I love. It's from the book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways. And I can handle anything that comes my way. That's a powerful one. When you believe you can handle anything that comes your way, then fear drops off your shoulders and it doesn't have a hold on you. So one practical thing you can do to have more self-control is when you feel triggered, you can stop and take a breath. Take a really deep breath. I know you might have heard this, but listen, count to 10. It gives you time to evaluate how you want to respond instead of reacting. So it allows you to be proactive. So in order for you to keep your cool and maintain self-control, give yourself time. Don't just fall into the trap of responding right away and letting your emotions control you. That is not self-control. That's being controlled. And you don't always want to let your emotions control you. They're not always right. I might feel like eating 3 brownies before lunch, but do I let myself? No. I might feel like following through on something that I was tempted to do. That is not a good thing. So what's going to help you is taking a deep breath, reevaluating your emotional state, and thinking, who do I want to show up as right now? I've taken a deep breath and given myself time to think about it. That's going to help. The second key is to not assume that you know where somebody's coming from or why they're behaving in the way that they're behaving, but to put yourself in their shoes. So again, that's coming from the place of being reactive, where you're assuming you think you know what's going on and you can read other people's minds, to being proactive and more empathetic, like Amy was talking about. In a good way here, though. I'll talk with you all more about that. And learning to put yourself in other people's shoes. When you put yourself in other people's shoes, it doesn't excuse their behavior, doesn't make it okay or right, but at least it gives you more of an empathy for them. Maybe more of a broadened perspective and understanding of how they might be feeling right now or where they're coming from. Because usually people aren't thinking about you, and it's not a personal attack when they're behaving in ways that are unreasonable. They're not thinking about you, they're focusing on themselves, and they've got their own issues. They're coming from their own perspective and background. So I would highly recommend you not take things personally, because hardly ever is it actually personal. Usually it comes from from their own perspective, their own background, their own beliefs, and it's all impersonal. It's all their stuff. It's all their issues, as long as you're showing up and you're being reasonable. So let me see what else I have here in my notes. Assuming and instead not avoiding assuming and putting yourself in their shoes, it's going to help you be a better problem solver, because you'll have this helicopter perspective on the conversation or situation instead of being stuck in it, where you don't have the perspective that makes you more wise and allows you to find to solve the problem, right? Or to get to the other side of the discomfort. So here's a step that you can take and implement today to stop assuming and start being more empathetic with people. And that's to complete this sentence. So it must not be easy to, so how would you fill that in? It must not be easy to, you guys fill that one in. What's some examples from your life? Let's see here. It must not be easy to meet, this is from one of my clients' lives. Meet the new demands our company is putting on you when you've been in this business for so long and are feeling tired. It mustn't be easy. It must not be easy. So you guys give me some examples too. This is putting yourself in other people's shoes. It must not be easy to work all day, feel like you don't have time for yourself, and that you're taking care of everyone else's needs. It mustn't be easy. When you can get on somebody else's level and feel for them a bit, or feel for them a lot, for where they're coming from, it opens your heart up to become more soft towards them. It doesn't mean that a situation doesn't need to be solved. It doesn't mean that their behavior is acceptable. It just means that you're able to view them as a real person, as a human with a background just like you. So, Colleen, it mustn't be easy to be away at work and not be involved in the day-to-day family activities. Yes. Can you imagine how that person would feel? It feels like they're missing out all the time. Feels like they're not connected with the family, which can make people grumpy, which can make people resentful, blaming others. Often when our deepest needs aren't met, that's when we start acting in ways that we regret. Amy says, it mustn't be easy to feel so overwhelmed. Exactly. Who likes feeling so overwhelmed and disheveled and like you can't focus? Feels hairy, scary, helter-skelter. Feels like you don't have any strong foundation or anywhere to rest. Can you imagine how that type of a person would be acting if that's where they're coming from? So you're getting my drift. You fill in the sentence. It must not be easy to ... Right? It helps you stop assuming and put yourself in other people's shoes. Because when you can view this person from a fresh perspective, from a broadened, bigger perspective, then the issue is not what you think it was. And you have a bigger understanding, a more open heart towards them, and you can usually solve the problem with much more grace and love and strength and power. Colleen, it mustn't be easy to not feel appreciated at your workplace. Oh, that's what Kelly said. Exactly. Yeah. So this is a perfect lead into the third point, the third key for today, which is to separate the person from the issue. So it's not the person that's the problem, it's that they're late. Or it's not the person that's the problem, it's their anger issues and how they're expressing how they feel. It's not the person that's the problem, maybe it's that they're not living a life of integrity and they're not completing the work that needs to get complete. So there are still issues that need to be dealt with, but when you separate those issues from the actual person that you're feeling challenged by, it's really helpful because it avoids blame and it avoids escalating the situation and causing more conflict when you can respect the person and just separate it from the issue and talk about the issue. Then you're avoiding the finger and you're avoiding the word you, which makes a person feel boxed up and defensive, sometimes explosive, right? So that's the third key. We have a shorter training today, I see. The bonus I have for you today is so it's kind of like the fourth key, is to pick your battles. So if you have a battle with someone or a challenge, you're faced with an unreasonable person, and it's just for a short period of time and you're not going to have to deal with that person ever again, maybe you don't want to have to work through something on the phone. Or maybe you want to just give the person, be more generous with your patience towards this person because it's not that big of a deal, or it's not something that you have to deal with on a regular basis. So choose, is it something that is negatively impacting your health and mental and spiritual well-being on a daily basis, and it needs to be dealt with, it needs your attention and time? Or can you let it go and extend some grace and patience to the person because it's not that big of a deal? So you choose. What's an important battle and what can you let go of? So what key do you think is most applicable to your life right now? Is it keeping your cool and learning to flex your self-control muscles more often? Giving yourself time before you respond so that you can change your habits in that area? Or is it 2 or 3? Not assuming and becoming more empathetic and putting yourself in their shoes. It must not be easy to ... fill in the blank. Or are you somebody on this training class today who resonates more with separating the person from the act or the person from the behavior? So let me know in the chat box to the right what rings true or what's most helpful about this training today in your life. Which of those keys? Colleen's got a question. She says, what if you know it's a small battle, but it keeps coming up and triggering you? Well, I would ask yourself a few questions. You could ask yourself, what's so great about this problem? That's one of Anthony Robbins' questions. And it helps you see the positive in it, and it helps you see where you might need to grow personally. So if it's a small battle, but it keeps coming up, you need to think to yourself, do all of these small battles add up to one big battle? Or is it something that I can work with? Is it something that is worth dealing with? Am I making it a battle? Is it something about me that I'm making it a battle? But I would ask yourself, what's great about this problem? What am I no longer willing to put up with? What am I willing to change to make this situation better? What am I no longer willing to do? So you're kind of asking yourself these standard raising questions. How can I raise my standards? What am I no longer willing to put up with? What am I willing to do to change the situation? And what will make this situation great So you want to ask yourself questions that will help you move forward, probably transform inside. And believe me, when you work on transforming yourself and figuring out why it's even a battle for you and what the true issue is, your relationships make a shift as well. So I'm not sure, Colleen, if that answered your question. You can let me know if that was useful, any of those questions that I shared with you, or if you want to kind of clarify your question a bit more. Does anybody else have some questions about today's training? Really learning how to handle unreasonable and difficult people, or maybe something specific about one of the keys that I shared. You're welcome, Colleen. Glad it helped. So ask away for your questions. I'm going to share with you a few more slides before the end of our training today. So one second here. This was a client of mine in Vancouver who is a busy lawyer, very successful, very, very hectic life because she's so busy. She was feeling like she didn't have time to see her family. She lives in Vancouver and her family is mainly on Vancouver Island. And she wasn't having the social life that she so enjoyed. She wasn't making time for her health, and she definitely wasn't making time to eat at all sometimes, or to eat healthy because of her lack of free time. So I showed her how to manage her time more effectively again. And I showed her how to put the systems in place for her business and the plan in place for her personal life so she could create more balance again. And she's handling her stress much better. And like I was saying, when you work on your own stuff, what it helped her do was really work with her coworkers better and relate well to them, and her communication increased with them and improved. So her mindset shifted, like she said here, from avoidance and insecurity to a mindset of excellence and everything that is possible to do. So she made some really big shifts, and I'm really happy for her. There's another testimonial here, but I'm not gonna talk about it. It's a great one. You can find out more of my testimonials at amyengelmark.com on my website. I want to challenge you a bit today and ask you, how long will you wait for the perfect timing? Because there is no perfect timing. If you wait for the perfect timing, you're going to be waiting a long time. So where will you get the support and accountability and mentorship that you need to move forward and fast forward your progress? Because if you move forward by yourself compared to moving forward with somebody else who's gone before you, or a group that's all heading in the same direction, you're going to move way faster in that type of atmosphere. You also have to ask yourself, what's it costing me to not take action? What's it costing me to continue walking in these same habits and practicing these same habits that are holding me back right now in life? Often what I hear is clients telling me, if I don't make a change now, I'm going to have a heart attack in 5 years. If I don't make a change now, what kind of role model am I for my coworkers or my kids? What am I saying to other people about marriage or relationships if this is the way that I'm choosing to live? There is a cost if you don't take action. And your family pays a price too. They see you less often. They get to have fun with you less often. You feel less connected. There's a lot of payoffs to following your intuition and acting on the things that need to be improved and changed in your life, instead of letting fear make decisions for you. That's a big thing that can hold you back. One great reality is that you have a choice. In the next 30, 60, 90 days, maybe 6 or months from now, a year from now, what would it mean for you to have more time and less stress? It's amazing what you can create when you decide it's possible. So how would you like to create amazing life balance in the next 30 to 60 days? Like I said, it totally is possible. I know how to help you. What my expertise is helping you conquer stress, kickstart your health, increase your productivity and free time, and make more money. So my time freedom breakthrough formula is what I teach my clients. I teach them through private coaching and group coaching programs. What I'm offering you today is an opportunity to have time with me over the next week or two if I've never worked with you before, and it's free, so there's no commitment, but it's exclusive. What I mean by that is I want to work with you if you're serious about making changes. But if you're somebody who is making excuses and telling me every reason why you don't think it's possible to make the changes you want in your life, then we're probably not the best fit. So if you're serious and you're ready and you're going to jump in with both feet, then you're going to get incredible results. Because what I've noticed is that the people who jump in with both feet and they stop listening to fear and they start trusting, those are the people who get the best results. So I'm going to show you how to get crystal clear on your goals, create an action plan with 1 to 3 of your next steps to take right away to start experiencing those new results that you want, so you can have less stress, so you can have more fun, so you can have more time and better health. That's what this time with me is all about. It's going to help you increase your productivity and prosperity so that you're making a bigger impact with your life. Yes, and a bigger impact with your work. So this is my Time Freedom Breakthrough strategy session. And like I said, I'm opening up time in the next week or two for 3 of you. I don't have enough space for everyone, but 3 of you to speak with me privately over the phone. So you can apply at amyengelmark.com/breakthrough. And if you feel like this is the right timing for you, don't wait. I encourage you to act now so that you get one of those spaces. I'm going to stop the screen share and see if there's any more questions that you guys have for me before we end the live webinar today. So for those of you on live, throw your questions my way. Do you have any questions about these webinars, about today's topic? And I'm also going to share with you the link I promised I would share with you. And that is the 2 chapters of my upcoming book, From Burnout to Bliss, the 21-day plan for high achievers to have more freedom, more fun, better health, and more wealth. So let me share that with you now so that you can apply those action steps to your life right away and start seeing some results. Now is the time where I get to give away a free book, and I'm going to give away the book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways. So if you're the person who answers this question first and correctly, then you get it at your doorstep. What shall I ask you? For those of you who follow me on Facebook, Colleen, I'll answer your question in just a sec. Does anyone know what group of professionals I just spoke for yesterday morning? Can you answer that question correctly for me? Means you'll need to start following me on Facebook if you don't follow me already, which is probably where you found out about this webinar. Yes, Colleen, it is realtors. Awesome. You were fast. I spoke for Remax Ocean Pacific Realty Group yesterday, and it was really fun, really invigorating, and I passed on some great nuggets for them to apply in their lives and businesses. So Colleen, if you could send me your info, yeah, good for you, you got it, you're getting the book. If you could send me your info at, did I say Royal LePage again? I thought that I said Remax. Well, I know that I goofed for sure in my post. I posted that I spoke at Royal LePage, but I changed it as quickly as I could when I was notified that I had made a goof. And so, yes, I spoke for Remax. I thought I just said Remax Ocean Pacific. Anyways, Val, welcome. Were you, you're one of the realtors there. You have dark hair. Beautiful, long, dark hair, right? Yes. Cool. So here, Colleen, is your link to contact me and send me your address, amyengelmark.com. Amy@amyengelmark.com. You can send me your address. Any questions before we go, ladies? Looks like it's all ladies on the call today. Tune in live next week. Every week I touch on a different topic and give you some strategies that are proven to help you move forward in your business and personal lives. What I wanted to answer a question. Colleen, you said, I was also curious about the health webinar you ran a couple of weeks ago. You know what? You can find a whole whackload of my webinars and past topics and training classes that I've done on YouTube. A little hint for you. So they're all over there on my Amy Engelmark YouTube page. So you should find the topic there, Colleen. What is a takeaway or a gold nugget that you're taking away from today's training that you know if you apply it to your life, you'll see some good results? Can you share with me, put your hand up there in the chat room and let me know what I touched on today that really spoke to you? That'd be great to receive your feedback. And thank you so much for joining me live. If you want to sign up for one of those strategy sessions, I have 3 of them. So let me know right away and I'll send you the application to spend that time with me over the phone or Skype if you prefer. It's amyengelmark.com/breakthrough. I'll put that here. amyengelmark.com/breakthrough. There we go. There's the link to apply for that time with me. So Colleen or Kelly says, your takeaway was separating person from the issue. I know, really helpful, right? That's so funny that I just said right. I was bugging my husband and he goes, I know, right? I think it's like a current thing to say, right? Separating the person from the issue. That's really, really helpful for me too. And it's really important for me to remember as well. Val, you said, your takeaway is what I believe about myself. Good webinar. Thank you. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Join us again. It was great to have you live. What you believe about yourself determines who you show up as in your business and in your life. If you don't believe that you are confident, if you don't believe you are good looking, if you don't believe you got what it takes, if you don't believe that good things always come to you, you have to believe in order to receive. Good takeaway, Val. Colleen, when you feel triggered, stop, breathe, count to 10. I know it gives you time to respond instead of being somebody who's continually reactive. So great takeaway. Thanks for joining me live, and I will see you all next week at amyengelmark.com/webinar training. See you then.